What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another KeyForge Age of Ascension Sealed Vault Tour Day 2 tournament game for you from Gen Con 2019. On the left we have Brad, on the right we have Eric from Team SAS. If you want to check out Eric's channel, his link is in the description below. You can go watch him play some KeyForge online. And he has dropped down a squadron, Sky Booster Squadron to be exact. On the left we have Agent Human and a Dominator now, both players playing Mars. If you want to check out their deck list, they are in the description below. And it looks like Eric's dropping down a Red Lock on his side, going Shadows here, followed by a Knuckles Bolton and a Yahtzee Gang and a Sneck Lifter, but nothing to steal. But looking at Brad's deck list, he has a Invasion Portal, an Amber Conduction Unit. What else do they have? Hedros Wall, Sigil of Brotherhood. All things I'm sure that would help out Eric, since he does have Sanctum in his deck and Mars. But that Sneck Lifter coming out a little early there. And it is his only Sneck Lifter in the deck. But you have him, you play him. At least he can reap or fight for you out there right now, assuming he sticks around for your next Shadows turn. This is like the top 32, trying to get into the top 16. It's the players who don't have buys playing off here for those final rounds of the top 16. And we have Lion Botram dropping down, giving +2 to his neighbors. And Lord Golgotha out there with the before fight effect, dealing a little damage to, what is it, a neighbor. Deal 3 damage to each neighbor of the creature Lord Golgotha fights. Just want to say thanks to both players for playing on camera. Much appreciated. And we have Harder They Come, destroying a Golgotha there.
So, my bad. Sequencing. Sequencing is the thing. So, restun your Dominator. It's already stunned. I am... Okay. Well...
And then we have a Protect the Weak, dropped on Knuckles Bolton, Radiant Truth. And yeah, it sounds like Eric was a little disappointed playing that Radiant Truth kind of out of sequence there. He could have had the Lion Botram stunned also. So it's kind of a waste. At least he got an Amber off the card. You see he has a couple Amber there at the top of the screen. I may have lined up the camera a little off here, so hopefully we can see all his Amber at the top, but at least we'll see his keys flipped. I believe I do come over and adjust the camera slightly, but that was my bad. So Brad's going on an Untamed turn. We have seen Brad play before, actually, in the Origins Vault Tour series on this channel. If you haven't checked out that series, it's in a playlist. Head on over to Rob's Gaming Table at YouTube, and you'll see Origins at KeyForge at Origins 2019 playlist. And you can check out that whole Vault Tour. Day 1 and Day 2 videos there. So we got Nox down. He's got +3 for each of his neighbors. Chota coming in. No Amber to lose. And Tandalin, who only deals 2 when attacking or fighting or whatever. And then can basically pop a artifact card, or archived card. Scowly Caper dropping in here on his opponent's side from Eric. One of my favorite fun cards from this set. Brad will be able to use him on his turn as any house, but at the end of the turn, it will destroy a neighbor creature. It has Skirmish also, so it's kind of hard to get rid of. Unless you have some like direct damage that you can do to friendly creatures. Or a way like a life for a life or something where you can sack your own creature. Or a board wipe obviously would work. Two-sided board wipe. And Scally Caper coming in there exhausted correctly, so he won't ready up at the end of this turn. He will ready up at the end of Brad's turn next. So we got Red Lock with Skirmish, fighting into Tandalin. Ignores the damage from Tandalin, but deals 3 damage. Knuckles Bolton here also has Skirmish and Elusive. Fighting into Nox. And we got a Reap Off Yahtzee Gang and a Reap Off Sneck Lifter. So he's put... And Swindle gets discarded.
I'm going to go with Mars.
And there's the artifacts on the Mars side. Invasion Portal and Amber Conduction Unit. So Invasion Portal Basically reads, action, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Mars creature or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars creature this way, put it into your hand. And then the other Amber Connection unit, basically, if an enemy creature reaps, it's the first time that creature is reaped, stun it. Or it's the first time a creature is reaped, stun it. And then we see a Harvester and a Sky Booster Squadron out there on the left flanks now. Agent Human's doing some stun here off of his reap. So he'll stun Showdown on his side and then Knuckles Bolton on the other side. And Scally Caper shouldn't be readied right now. I'm pretty sure. It looks like Brad is going to use him. He's going to use him to fight into Snecklifter, though, and kill him. And then Agent Human dies at the end of turn there from Scally Caper's ability. But yeah, I don't think Scally Caper would have been readied up there.
A red lock trigger? Yes. So last turn, let me see what I did.
Seems like Eric may have forgot a red lock trigger. We have a judge coming over. Somebody probably told a judge that it was missed.
That was the only creature I played, but I played on that side. I'm pretty sure that doesn't, because.
Yeah, he did play Scally Caper. Let's read Redlock. At the end of turn, if you did not play any creatures this turn, gain an Amber. But he did play Scally Caper, so technically that is playing a creature. So he would not get Amber off Redlock. And I think they rule it correctly here. So a Dominator on the other side coming in to play stun on the right flank for Eric. And what's this? Mothership support, I think.
We're going to deal 2 damage to the Harvester.
So he's doing 2 damage to the Harvester on the left flank of Brad here. Should be getting an Amber off that. Looks like he may be sitting around 5 Amber right now on Eric's side.
Cool. Alright. I'm going to reap here. It gets stunned, but it gets popped in hand.
So he reaps the Sky Booster Squadron. Of course, it'll get stunned from the Amber Conduction unit, but it returns to hand, so it shakes off the stun, basically. And then he plays it back out on the left flank. And then plays a Mars first, gains an Amber off that. And you can ready and use a friendly Mars creature.
Check at 7. Draw 3 cards.
And he just shakes the stun off the Dominator, I believe is what he did there. I think he said check with 7. So Brad's still sitting at no Amber, I'm pretty sure. I don't see any anywhere. He's got a juicy board, though. See how long that Scally Caper sticks around, though. Eating away at the board. Brad may have to keep throwing targets from his hand into it so he doesn't lose creatures he wants to keep on the board. That's what's fun when your opponent starts playing around it and messing up their turns based on it. Looks like he's going Mars. We got a Dominator fighting a Dominator. Of course, Line Botram's giving a +2 on the attack. So he destroys the Dominator on the other side. Doesn't put damage on him because he's going to die from Scally Caper. So he'll die at the end of the turn. So he just doesn't want to put the damage on him. Hopefully they remember and that doesn't come back to bite them and they both miss it. But and we got an Invasion Portal trigger here. He's going to start discarding cards off the top till he finds a Mars creature and he gets a fixed finger and adds it to hand. That gives all other Martian creatures in play +1 armor, so it will give the Sky Booster Squadron across the board +1 armor also. And we see a, was it a Nizik Resonator there? Put on the left flank, and each neighbor he has makes opponent's keys cost +2. And Scally Caper is going to fight into Surmeros. And the Sky Booster Squadron sticks around since it's a Martian, and the fixed finger does give it +1 armor. So that 4 damage coming back, it's obviously only 3 gets through. The Scally Caper was skirmish, so no damage there, but he used both of them to fight into Surmeros. And then the Harvester will do a Reap and gain an extra Amber off the Reap to put Brad at 2 Amber. And there's the Scally Caper trigger there at the end of turn, destroying the Dominator. And we have a crazy Mars board here on Brad's side. He has quite the Mars lineup in his deck. You can't let that stick around too long. But those fixed fingers will keep them around a little longer than usual normally. And those Harvesters will be getting you extra Amber unless you... He needs to kill that Sky Booster Squadron in the middle there to give Harvester a non-Mars neighbor so he can't use them. And yeah, the Resonator raising key cost by 4 right now. So Eric will not be able to forge his key.
Anytime you want to tell me that I'm not going to forge, you got it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I have a bunch more games here from day 2 of the Sealed that I'll be posting. So make sure you subscribe and hit that alarm bell button so you don't miss any of those. And I'll have day 1 and 2 coverage from the Archon Sealed tournament that was also held at this Gen Con 2019 coming up on the channel. So lots of KeyForge coming up.
Discard for a second. Thanks.
So Eric gonna look through Brad's discard here. Only 5 cards in there right now. There's a Key Charge actually in there. So he's got Chota and Key Charge in his deck. 2 key cheats. Both accounted for right now. If you can get that Chota in his discard, Brad does have Regrowth in his deck. See, Brad does have a Save the Pack in his deck. So maybe that's why... I don't know if Eric knows that, but maybe that's why he's chipping damage on a bunch of his creatures there at the beginning when he started hitting the Untamed creatures. So Redlock fighting into the Resonator. And Knuckles Bolton fighting into the Resonator. So no creatures played, so Redlock will gain another Amber for Eric. And he is in check. He got rid of the Resonator, so no more +4 key cost for himself. Struggle to get this first key forged here by Eric. Will he get there? Brad not even close getting that first key forged. Slow grind for this deck here. Both great players, though, obviously. Both great decks. They picked in Sealed, or they wouldn't be at day 2 here. It's cool, the armor theme in Brad's deck. He has a couple board in the Redeems. Or, sorry, he has... No, he's not armored. That's a capture guy. Abel and the Armor Smith was what I was thinking of. He has one of those. And then what I was thinking of is 2 fixed fingers he has in there for the Martians. Giving that extra armor bump. It's pretty huge. There's the Armor Smith now on the left flank. And we got Scally Caper trying to fight Yahtzee Gang, but the Protect the Weak on the neighbor there, Knuckles Bolton, gives Knuckles Bolton taunt. So he can't fight in there. So Hedros Wall is out too, giving Scally Caper +2. And then he has +2 from Lion Botrum. So he's a 6 power creature right now.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to pop Elusive.
So he's going to use Lion Botrum to fight first. Get rid of Elusive on Knuckles Bolton. And then Scally Caper is going to come in and finish off Knuckles Bolton, getting that taunt off the board. So Brad really focusing on board control here. And Lion Boatrum gets popped off the Scally Caper. And Eric forges his first key. Brad only at 1 amber.
Flank? Okay. I'm going to do shadows.
So Eric's going shadows. He fights into Lion Boatrum there in the middle. Does...
Thank you.
Oh, he almost had a mistaken key flip happen here.
Okay, so I'm going to fight there. That's fine. So you deal damage.
Oh, they just realized the Armorsmith has an extra armor, or the Armorsmith's giving Lion Boatrum an extra armor, so the 5 from Yahtzee Gang only comes in, breaks the 2 armor, and only 3 gets through, leaves Lion Boatrum alive, hanging on by a thread.
You dealt 5, so you dealt 3
I'm
damage.
dealing 3 damage here.
Yes, you dealt 3 damage there. And then you're attacking here again?
No.
You're attacking here?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Redlock with Skirmish comes in and gets rid of the Armorsmith, which should have been done in that different order, but actually they remember the wall. So all the armor, all the strength buffs here, confusing me, confusing Eric. So he's making some misplays here, big time. And I've been in that spot too. I've forgotten this stuff. Strength buffs and the armor all over the place in the Age of Ascension set. It takes some getting used to, that's for sure. And Brad's deck is definitely focused around that theme. Not to mention elusive on top of that.
Damage.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
4
4
damage.
damage.
So we're just trying to get the damage here on Yahtzee Gang from Lion Boatrum smacking him back.
Sorry, I'm dying here. I'm going to play Camouflage and Way of the Porcupine.
So Camouflage and Way of the Porcupine, both getting an amber there. They are upgrades out of Untamed. Way of the Porcupine is going to give the creature Hazardous 3.
It is hazardous.
And then the Camouflage basically says creatures not on a flank cannot fight this creature. And Born the Redeemed coming in on the left flank.
I'm showing you that I have it.
We're not.
Idiots. So discard that.
Oh, he's on Untamed. Yeah, he can't play Sanctum right now. Wow. Brad's confusing me here. So he discards, looks like a Persistent Hunting discarded there. And now he's going to choose, what is he going to do here with his Untamed creatures? Obviously, Chota, I'm assuming he's going to get rid of that stun. Tandalin can only deal 2 damage when fighting. But Nox is a big 9 power creature right now.
Scally Caper will finish off Chienz again.
So Scally Caper going to find a Yahtzee Gang, kill him. Skirmish, of course.
Did you kill a guy last turn for that thing? Yeah, because
I did.
Okay.
That's when I had Lion.
Yeah, there. I'm trying to fix the camera there to get us a better shot of the amber.
I will.
But still didn't do a good enough job, Rob. What are you doing?
I'm actually going to. You have no archives, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then I'm going to just reap.
So he reaps with 3 creatures, but Chota is stunned, so he shouldn't be reaping with him.
That's, I guess. So reap 3 times.
But he does take 3 amber and leave the stun.
And I'm good.
What is happening here? Oh no. And Eric's not catching it either.
Go ahead, I'm at
The people watching and the judges that keep jumping in aren't catching this stuff either.
Shadows?
And there goes Shadows. Redlock fighting into Lion Boatrum, but taking the Hazardous 3 to burn him. So it looks like Eric's trying to clear his board here on purpose. And if we look at his deck list here, what does he have? Does he have? He has Flotsam Spike. If there are no friendly creatures in play, destroy each creature not on a flank.
other Martian. Dang it.
And then that was it for the turn, and he passes over to Brad. So Brad did get to his first key there, has 1 amber remaining. He's going to name Mars, going to start with a invasion portal.
going to reap.
So he reaps with the harvester. That gets him 2 amber.
I'm going to.
He doesn't want to reap with the Sky Booster Squadron, or else it'll go back to hand, and then it'll turn off that harvester going forward, since he'll have a non-Mars neighbor in line Botram. So he's going to throw the harvester in on the left flank, but he's beside the armor smith. And then he puts a proliferator on the left beside him. And then we have a hypnotic command, which says for each friendly Mars creature, choose an enemy creature to capture 1 amber from their own side. And then he's going to fight into Sky Booster Squadron and take all of Eric's amber. Just like that. Clears him out. And puts himself into check with 7, I believe. And we have a reap off the fixed finger, going up to 8. And Scalacaper will do a reap. And he kills Chota, putting him into the discard pile, and he has a regrowth, like I said, so he could line that up on a future key. So Brad's kind of turned this game around here. So Mars needs amber, gets an amber for playing that. Each damaged enemy non-Mars creature captures 1 from their own side. I missed that on the deck list. That's why he's doing random little damage to each creature, not taking them out. And then a Fluxum Spike.
I take 3 amber, right?
Yep.
And Eric gets 3 amber out of the deal. Destroys basically all the creatures not on a flank. But I don't think... Let me read this card here. Fluxum Spike. Oh, sorry, yes. He does destroy each creature on a flank. And then a containment field on the proliferator. And Nizik's Resonator doesn't have any neighbors, so no increased key cost right now. And we see Scalacaper still out there having a good time.
Yep.
And Brad still forges a key. He had enough. He was at 9 there at the end to the Scalacaper Reap. Eric was only able to get 3 on that play. And it looks like Brad did not draw up at the end of last turn, so he doesn't have enough cards in hand. He's calling a judge over to ask how to handle it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
And while we're waiting for the judge call here, if you want to hit that like button, if you like these KeyForge videos, helps other people find this channel on YouTube when they're searching KeyForge and help find these videos. It would be much appreciated. And if you want to help support me getting to other tournaments to get videos like this for you guys, feel free to donate. There's a link down below to Patreon. Thank you to everyone for your support so far. It's much appreciated.
Clause for the official FFG floor rules. Let me pull up what it said.
Alright.
So it looks like they're going to the floor rules. We're going to see our first judge call here.
Be under the clause of either resolve now, go on, or rewind. It's just gonna depend on what circumstances determine what decision we take, what route we take.
As far as I know, nothing has changed.
And it sounds like the player was supposed to draw up to 6, and you
Correct.
drew to 4, or did
I
you
didn't
draw?
draw. I didn't draw anything.
You didn't draw anything. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was just at the
My previous turn.
previous turn. And how far are we into your turn? I'm done with
He
my
just
turn.
finished his turn. I just realized it when I picked up my hand to play my
So Brad's realizing at the start of his turn he only has 4 cards. He didn't draw 2 extras that he should have in the previous turn. And Eric's already played through a full turn.
Cards in his hand being misrepresented, would that have changed your lines of play at all? No. Okay. In that case, both players acknowledge the mistake, and the judge determines that neither player was given notable advantage because of it. That's play on, but what if we want to resolve it now? The overlooked ruler ability in question can still be retroactively applied without giving either player major advantage, while not applying it will give one player advantage over the other. If we were to not apply it, your opponent would gain a massive advantage as you begin your turn with less cards in hand. So, and both players have acknowledged the mistake and they do not alter lines, so we can resolve that now. And you can
So basically, since it was just a mistake, it's not going to give either player an advantage. He'll just get to draw his 2 cards now. But if he wasn't to draw his 2 cards, it would have given Eric a huge advantage since Brad would have less cards in hand. So they just didn't change anything on Eric's last turn at all with Brad having less cards in hand. So he just gets to draw his cards.
Okay.
There's an example for you of the type of thing that happens at a major tournament, like a Vault Tour.
Okay, and this will be a...
If you're ever unsure and you're ever in that situation where you don't know what to do and your opponent, you can't work it out correctly, or you feel you may be at disadvantage, call a judge over like this and get some help.
Continue on from this point. You'll have a 2-minute time extension.
And they also get a time extension for this.
I am going to.
So on with Brad's turn here. If he uses that proliferator, he'll have to destroy it.
I'm gonna go with Sanctum. Yes. Play Shield of Justice.
So he's going Sanctum, Shield of Justice, gains an Amber off that. His creatures aren't going to take damage. Throws Merrick the Marked down there and a Board in the Redeemed. And Scallycaper's going to fight into the Resonator.
These are exhausted, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, and that is it.
And the Proliferator will be destroyed off Scallycaper's ability. So that Scallycaper's been there doing work. But Brad's remembering to use him here. On the other side, we have Rothias the Fierce dropping in with a Sir Maros, a Sigil of Brotherhood. And not sure that other one. I think it's an Eye of Judgment. Looks like it is. Purge a creature from a discard pile. Gains an Amber for playing that one. And from the Sigil of Brotherhood. And Rothias the Fierce. I believe he is, yes, the Taunt with Hazardous 4. Also has 2 armor. It's a 4/2, just like Sir Maros. Eric looks like he's sitting at 5 Amber, but only 1 KeyForge. We've got Brad at 2 keys forged and 1 Amber.
I'm going to go with Sanctum again.
And Brad going on a Sanctum turn, drops a Sigil of Brotherhood of his own, gets an Amber for that.
I'm going to capture.
And Board in the Redeemed. He was going to capture there, but he just wants to make sure. Yes, he's going to capture 2 Amber. And he is +2 power right now since he is on a flank thanks to Hedros Wall.
She's Hazardous 4.
Hazardous 4.
Okay, so if I guess I'll die, right?
So Scallycaper, he found a way to destroy him. He's going to run him into Rothias the Fierce and get hit by Hazardous 4.
Dang it, he's not going to die. Surrender to
Oh,
the
shield, he played Shield of Justice, so none of his creatures take damage.
off his armor there, and then I will attack him.
So he takes 3 damage because of the 1 armor. The 2 armor, rather. You strip 1 armor,
Wait, that's right. He would.
and he takes 3 damage.
He takes 3 damage. So he was not dead from there, and then he would.
That's dead.
That I would be
So
dead.
takes 3 damage, and that's dead.
Yeah.
So Scallycaper fighting in first on Rothias the Fierce.
Is that not what you're doing?
Maybe not. No.
I don't know what is happening here. Nobody will die because of Shield of Justice.
No, yeah, that's fine. I'll finish him off.
He doesn't die.
Yeah, I don't die. I don't take any damage. But he dies because he attacked and dealt 4.
Yeah, they're confused here. So Shield of Justice makes Brad's creatures not take damage. So Scallycaper plus Merrick the Mark,
Be damaged.
Oh, right.
both fighting in to Rothias the Fierce, will take him out.
Dealt damage. Dealt damage, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, so the Shield of Justice makes them all invincible. He uses 2 creatures to take off Rothias the Fierce. And Eric is down to Sir Maros. Scallycaper is a 4, Merrick the Mark's a 5, so that's enough to get through Rothias's 4/2 power and armor. And Board in the Redeem being played down on the right flank just for some fodder for Scallycaper there, so that he keeps Merrick the Mark in play. And Brad is now through his deck. So we'll be shuffling around to those Key Charge and Choda and all those Mars bodies and untamed creatures. And I predict not before long he will have another giant wall of a board here. Eric's going Mars. He's going to play Destroy Them All. Get rid of an artifact, a creature, and an upgrade. There are no upgrades in play. So he'll get rid of Board and the Redeemed and Hedros Wall. I think those are good targets. I mean, I may have gone Merrick the Marked. But I guess he wants to get in check now, so that makes sense. He's behind. He needs to get Amber where he can. And drops down, was that a Mind Worm there? And gets rid of Exterminate. Which for each friendly Mars creature controlled, destroy a non-Mars creature with lower power. Which is not going to help him right now, obviously. So only Mars creature is a 1 power creature.
Untamed. Play Bumblebird.
So Bumblebird coming in and off an Untamed turn here as an alpha. Obviously not giving any +1 power counters to any Untamed creatures. Since there are none. We see the Regrowth in hand, but no discard pile, really. He can get back aboard and redeem, though, but he does not have that pile of a discard he had a turn ago. And Fuzzy Gruen coming in, giving an Amber to Eric, and to Brad, and a Grove Keeper on the left flank. And Eric making sure Brad brings his creatures in, exhausted, which, yes, is a pet peeve of mine also. And Board and Redeem coming in off a Regrowth. Brad tries to play him, but he's not Untamed, so Brad can't put him into play, and Eric catches it. We're getting excited here. The pressure's on. If you lose this, you're eliminated. Tensions are high, I'm sure.
I'm going to
Scowly Caper fighting into Sir Marrows.
And I'm going to
Getting rid of armor. And Merrick the Mark.
I think he takes 4. Oh, 3, yes, sorry.
So 3 damage to Merrick the Mark. He will capture one since an armor prevented
I capture 1.
a damage there from Sir Marrows, but he does take Sir Marrows out using Merrick the Mark.
I just want to make sure, sorry. Oh, wait, I had to use this in order to get me to do that. There was a reason why I did that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair point. No, it's all right.
So he forgot to take Scizor Brother off the table, but he meant to be popping it to use Merrick the Mark there. But they got it.
Go ahead.
Forge for 6.
Yep.
And Eric will forge for 6 Amber. And he's got to his second key here. So he's coming back. And we saw Bumblebird die there off Scally Caper.
Sorry, and he gets a +1 mark.
And Grove Keeper end of turn effect there was missed, but they corrected it there with a +1 power counter on Merrick the Mark. So Eric's going to take some time here, go through his discard pile. His deck's getting low. He's checking out his options in hand here. Seeing which route to take. He's going to check his deck list out. Trying to figure out what he needs to find here. And he's probably thinking, if I play so many cards from hand with this house, I get through my deck. What is left in my deck? Will I draw into it or not? Or do I play this other house where I only play 2 cards and then maybe draw? I have a chance of drawing what I need. I'm sure you've all been there playing KeyForge. You're down to those last few cards in deck and you have that option of playing a house out of hand with a couple cards or with a bunch of cards, try to get your whole deck. But do you need to do that? What's the better play at the time?
It's like the entire match.
So Eric's saying the whole match revolves around this decision here. What is he digging for? Let's take a look at his deck list here. So I think Brad is in check with 6. I could be wrong, though. It's hard to tell with those tokens. But if he is, maybe Eric's looking for this piece of amber control he needs. You know he discarded Swindle earlier. He's maybe looking for Ronnie wrist clocks. He does have one in his deck. But I'm not sure. I just don't know if Brad's at 5 or 6 there. Sounds like he's going Shadows. There's Ronnie. So he steals 1. There's Knuckles Bolton and Umbra on the right flank. And did Eric find what he needed? So Brad's going to Sanctum turn. He plays another Shield of Justice, gaining an Amber off that. His creatures will not take damage this turn.
There's nothing to stop me from reaping, right? But you have.
So he's going to reap with Merrick the Marked.
I'm gonna play Smite on him.
And Smite will ready. He's going to fight into Mindworm, who's elusive. But he's going to do 2 damage to the neighbors, getting rid of Umbra and Ronnie off the Smite ability.
I am going to reap the Solar Keeper.
And Scalacaper will reap, putting Brad at, I think, 7. And Abort and Redeem there on the left flank. So he's going to do Grove Keeper here, and then Scalacaper is going to pop Fuzzy Gruin. And by the way, all that would happen at the end of turn is actually after you draw cards. That's when the end of turn phase is. Just for teaching purposes for those watching. Also, another tip we could learn from this video is just with the kind of play mistake errors that have been happening here could have been caught if both players were paying attention on their opponent's turn. That's something I find. You can see Eric's looking through his hand when Brad makes a goof up and they kind of let it go, because Eric's just thinking about his next turn. But I find if you put your hand down and kind of just pay attention to your opponent's turn, you'll more than likely catch things like that. So we have Hypnotize, taking the Board and the Redeem, then Sigil of Brotherhood popped, so he can use a Sanctum creature. Board and the Redeem doing a capture there. Next level play by Eric, getting Brad off of a key here.
What's the status of this currently?
He is 7 strength.
Did you kill this guy at end of turn?
No, I killed
Fuzzy Gruin, okay. He's 7 strength.
Yeah, see, Eric asking if Scalacaper did a kill every turn means Eric was not paying attention to Brad's turn at all. And sorry, Eric, we're using you as a teaching tool here. But yeah, it's something that I've learned over time playing KeyForge is, yeah, just put your hand down when it's not your turn and just pay attention to your opponent, and you'll catch mistakes like that we're seeing here. But it does help us all learn and all get better. Everyone makes mistakes in every game, including myself. And it's good sometimes to catch them on video so that we all can learn from them. Alright, so Grove Keeper dying there because of the Mindworm fighting into Merrick the Mark. That'll kill his neighbors, getting rid of Scalacaper finally. But Eric doing it himself. And Merrick, since he blocked the Mindworm with an armor, he will capture 1 Amber from Eric.
Alright, I'm going to...
Eric's still sitting at, I think, just 1 Amber, so he's still far from that 3rd key. Just hanging on here. So we got Invasion Portal. It looks like the first card was a Mars creature there for Brad. So he's got a Fixed Finger in hand there. So Fixed Finger coming down, giving Martians +1 armor. We got a Sky Booster Squadron on the left flank, followed by a Harvester. Brad just puking out the Mars cards here. And we have Proliferator on the left flank.
And I will play Hypnotic.
And we have a Hypnotic Command here.
Okay, do you want to put one of yours on there?
Sure.
Just so it's, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Just
Yeah,
your
yes,
Amber,
yes,
so,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Gotcha.
And he puts it on board in the Redeemed.
Um,
Captures the Amber from Eric's side. They just make sure it's using Brad's token there. So when he pops it, they know where it's going. And yeah. Eric just building up a board there. I don't think he's in... Or Brad building up a board there, sorry. I don't think he's in check, though. And we have a Sanctum Guardian drop down on Eric's side. And a Hollowed Shield. Lion Boatrum coming in on the deploy. Give him +2 to his neighbors. Then we have a Armor Smith on the right side. And now we'll have the Eye of Judgment purging a creature. He's hunting for that Chota. We'll get rid of the Fuzzy Grumman, though.
I'm going to capture another 2 on here.
And Born the Redeemed will do a capture. It is Born the Redeemed from Brad still. on Eric's side. Thanks to that Hypnotize.
Draw 4 cards. I don't have that many, so we're going to have to go into library. Draw 1, and then I got to shuffle.
So Eric's got through his deck finally here. He's going to shuffle up for his last 3-card draw here. And Brad worried, saying Hypno Beam may have won Eric the game here by pulling that Board and Redeemed on the other side. And those 2 taunts there. Actually, it's not a taunt. Lion Boatrum is not taunt. He's just being protected by Sanctum Guardian's taunt. I'm just goofing up there looking at the wrong creature. But yeah, Sanctum Guardian protecting the Armor Smith and Board and the Redeemed. Lion Boatrum buffing up Board and the Redeemed's strength to 5. Plus, he has a +1 power counter, I think, from the previous Grove Keeper on the other side, so he's actually a 6.
Alright, I'm going to use Mars.
So we got another Mars turn here from Brad. He's doing an Invasion Portal, discarding cards, looking for a Mars creature. He's just going all Mars here. Building up that board. Can get some Amber going. Can fight into the opponent's board, I'm sure.
Going to play...
And we got a Fixed Finger on the right flank. So now all Martians in play are +2 armor, all other Martians. But the Fixed Fingers will give each other +1 bump on their armor. So Sky Booster Squadron doing a Reap, going back to hand. Coming back into play on the right flank. Got a Reap on the Harvester on the left there, getting 2 Amber. Reap with Proliferator. And he gets to take a Mars card out of his discard pile. And he's going to grab Hypnotic Command and puts it into the archives. Which is kind of gross if Eric doesn't deal with all these Mars creatures on board ASAP. So Brad in check again. Looks like 7 or 8 there.
Yeah, didn't you just play Harvester?
No, I played Harvester over here. That Harvester is the old Harvester. This is the new Harvester.
So we got the judge watching now, just making sure that Eric's calling out the Harvester Reap. But he did have 1 Harvester in play already. He played the other one last turn.
I personally don't.
Judge is agreeing.
Not sure it matters, but I'm gonna look for a minute.
And Eric thinks the game's out of his hand this turn. But he's going to take time and check through his deck, his discard. Well, he doesn't have a discard, I guess. But he's going to check through his deck, his hand, or his, sorry, his hand and his board. So what I'm trying to say, wow. And just make sure he's not going to miss a way out here. So even if he fights into these Mars creatures and takes them off the board, Amber control-wise, all I see is Board and the Redeemed in play. Just takes 1 away, and Brad's just keeps building up that Mars board and just getting more Amber out of it. And if that Mars board goes untouched, even if Eric can get him off of a key, Brad will just shoot up even more Amber the next turn if there's still all those Martians in play. Or Mars creatures in play. But I know there was, talking to Eric after this game, there was a turn earlier where he was trying to clear his board to use that Flotsam Spike with the Mars Needs Amber. And he took too long to do it. He basically said that he should have more quickly got rid of creatures off his board and played into it faster. But he may have just delayed a turn or two too long there and let Brad get too far ahead. So that was a point in the game he was wanted to look back at. So I'm curious, Eric, if you're watching this back in the future, what you said you're going to analyze it, just leave some comments below. Let us know, you know, what was going through your head there, and if, you know, let us walk us through some of it if you can. Or if you end up, if you want to do this on your channel and take this video and kind of analyze it on your own channel or anything, yeah, just leave a link down below in the comments so people can go on over and check that out. But like I said, I'll leave a link down below to Eric's, I know he's got a Twitch channel, I'm not sure about YouTube, but I'll figure it out and put those links down below for you guys in the description. Or Eric can leave them in the comments below also, and you can check them out there. So the judge is just trying to say, time's run out, guys. Let's get this over with here. So Eric's got to finish his turn, then Brad would get an additional turn. But Eric doesn't think he has any outs, but he's just making sure. And he's looking for key cost bumps. He doesn't have any. He has Hypnotize in hand. But that's not going to help. Or Hypno Beam, sorry. He is going to use the Hypno Beam. And he takes... they Merrick the Marked. And he destroys it to give Brad more Amber. And just goes out in style there. Had some fun with it. But he also said he didn't want to just, like, give over the turn there, because he said in one of the previous Vault Tours he had a way out, but he gave up too quickly, shook the hand too early, and missed his chance there. But yeah, thanks to both players again for playing on camera there. Mistakes and all, we can use these to learn from, and we can all become better players from them. But yeah, this is high tension Vault Tour Day 2 elimination game, so we'll have more games coming up. Make sure you stick around for those, and thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.